Good evening and welcome to this special edition of Broken Not Shattered. Your host Ike Webily and my co-host Obi, who is back in Lagos, Nigeria. What's up, Obi?
I'm good.
You looking nice. I like your lifeguard top, man. You looking bad, Can't
Thank you
complain.
so much. Thank you. I'm so excited this evening.
Good. How's the family? Everyone doing well?
Oh, we're good. We're doing fine. Thank God.
Great.
How
Last
about
weekend, Obi, you and I, we're doing well. God has been good and faithful and merciful.
you? Oh,
Last weekend we were talking about brokenness under singlehood.
yeah.
And it was a very interesting conversation that a lot of people kept on asking me, how do you know when you found the right person?
Yeah.
And I wish I was a relationship expert. I would have answered that question very straightforward to the point. Unfortunately, now I'm not a relationship expert. Now, however, I have been in a couple of relationships in my lifetime. And sometimes when you see the right person, you might not even know it's the right person.
Sure.
Other times you might think this person is not the right person and they turn out to be the right person. For me,
Yep.
my own litmus test is very simple.
Okay.
How much do I have peace in dealing with that individual?
Okay.
And how much do they have peace in dealing with me?
Yeah.
It's not about how good looking they are, because I've seen some beautiful
Nice.
women who have turned out to be a big mess. And
Yes.
I've seen some women who are not that beautiful who have turned out to be a blessing.
Yeah. Sure.
So it's not the looks alone, but don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
looks are good.
Yeah.
Like one of my friends will say to you, you can't be nasty and ugly at the same time. You can only pick one.
That's
So
bad
if
luck.
you're nasty, you can't be ugly. If you're ugly, you can't be nasty. But man, the worst thing man can have is to have a woman who is nasty and good looking. Because
Mm.
everyone on the outside is thinking, oh my gosh, she's such a wonderful babe, man. She's a
Yeah.
great girl, nice partner, companion, wife or girlfriend, whatever she is to the individual. But at the end of the day, the person really um, is a handful. And most men don't want love. Most men just want respect. It's as simple as that. When we come back, we're going to talk more about this and see how we can actually shed some more light on the issue of relationships. How do you know when you found the right one? This is broken but not shattered.
Yeah.
So, for those of us who are out there, this is broken, not shattered. Um, let's talk. Let's talk, buddy. Let's talk. How do you know when you found the right one?
Like you said earlier, um, sometimes you might come around the right one and you don't know. Now, one of the things I would say before I say that is this. I used to tell people, there is this trend, husband material, wife material, things like that. And I used to ask people, if you're looking for the right person, you need to make sure that you are the right person as well.
Correct. Mm,
Because the right can't find the wrong. If you're looking for the right person, have it in mind that that right person is also looking for the right person.
correct.
Yeah, that's one. Then, like you said, what most, not even what most men want, the actual um, foundation for the gender, the union between the two gender is love and respect.
Correct.
Respect for the man, respect for the woman, and then love for the man. So it is in the place of the man to love and in the place of the woman to show respect.
You
Because
know, and I completely agree with you because the love language is different. Women spell love Love, and men spell love Respect, right?
is that
But I also believe that if you love a woman, genuinely and you really care about the person,
Mhm.
that it's easy for her to actually respect you as a man,
Okay, I'm
you know.
I'm gonna come to that.
And then also, if you respect a man and genuinely respect him, it's easy for him just to love you and just love on you and show you all that. You know, it's just like clockwork. You know, so it's all of those things that when the left hand touches the right hand and the right hand touches the right hand, both hands keep on locking into each other. The truth of the matter is that when you come into relationships initially, our relationships are not always going to start in a very smooth way, right? And I share this with couples because I used to be the head of a family ministry for years back in Baltimore for so many years at a non-profit organization, and I had a lot of responsibility in that. And I think that's why the enemy has attacked me a couple of times in that space when it comes to the issues of family and relationships, right? But don't worry, I'm victorious, so I'm still here.
Sure, sure, sure.
So this is the guy, rough, rugged, ashy. This is the babe, rough, rugged, ashy. And the two parties are coming together gradually, right? So when they come together, it's a rough feel because they're trying to get to know each other. And then eventually they lock in. If you look at this picture of the camera, it's not the prettiest picture ever because you see knuckles, you see chipped fingernails, you see one finger is long, one finger is short. Everybody's trying to get to know each other. Then they now begin to incapacitate, they go back, and then all of a sudden, when you see the side, it looks as if it's smooth. Because in that roughness, there's been a smooth edge that takes place in relationships, especially in the marital relationship. And there's a power that comes in a marital relationship, and it's the power of agreement that when two come together concerning anything, it's done. But what happens is that everybody is striving for their own position. Do you know who I am? Bagwandaibo. And then in that process, it falls apart. And everyone loses when it falls apart.
Yeah.
Now, the good thing about it, God is able to restore every broken relationship. And when I say restore, I am not saying He's bringing you back together. Let's don't get it twisted. In some cases, you might come back together. In some cases, you might never come back together. But He's restoring you, and He's restoring the other individual. What's your take, Obi?
Okay. I think one of the things I want to see tonight is Holy Spirit give me the grace to express as it is in my heart, and also help us, you know, to have a clearer picture of what it should be. God help me. So I'll begin first with the question you asked me, ab initio, of how do you know you found the right person? Okay. One, if you have the peace of mind, that's one. Two, is someone you know you can tolerate. Now, then again,
Tolerate.
yes. Now,
So the T
again,
word for you is not trust, but tolerate. Okay.
tolerate, tolerate. Yeah. Now, the another striking thing there is no right or wrong person. It might sound obscure. Now, in teaching us what the union should be and the foundation of the union, it did not talk about the right person or the wrong person.
Correct.
Now, but if we must begin to look at who is the wrong person or the right or the wrong or the right person, we might begin to look at person with the same faith. Bible talked about family. Get
Equally
where I'm going.
yoked.
Equally yoked. Thank you. Now, equally yoked, he said, do not be unequally yoked. He said, with an unbeliever.
Unbeliever.
Now, somebody might say an unbeliever is someone who commits adultery, who commits fornication, who commits. No, that's not an unbeliever. An unbeliever simply means one who does not believe in Christ or who does not have the same belief with you,
Spiritual beliefs.
spiritual belief. You're getting where I'm going heading to
Sure,
now.
completely.
Now, if we are of the same faith, it is easier for us to understand. We can fall and easier for us to rise. Bible said when it was time for Abraham to get a wife,
Abraham got a wife for Isaac,
Isaac, yes, Isaac, he had to send
his relatives.
relatives, yes. Now, that simply talks of people of the same belief, people of the same faith. Now, again, having said that, now once we are of the same belief, we are in that space of right. That's we have right persons there. Now, the question is this: there is a standard for what we want to dive into. Are we ready to go by it? Now, in teaching us what the understanding should be, he said, husband, love your wife, and wife, be submissive to your husband. Okay?
Respect.
Respect. Now, it did not give, it made those terms to be unconditional.
Correct.
So she doesn't have to be built well or structurally or knows how to do some home things or have a wonderful manner for me to give her the level of love that is required of me. Now, in order to demonstrate that love, he said, love your wife as Christ loved the church. So you have to understand how Christ loved the church. And how was that? He said, while we were yet sinners, what Christ did was to love. For he said he loved us and gave
That's
himself
right.
to die for us. And that what he did was to bring us to a standard where God will accept us. So if you read that place there, you discover that he started talking about how you can now purify, how it is your responsibility to purify that woman, to make her spotless and bring her up to that standard. So
Right.
that is assignment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now going back to the woman, he said to the woman, be submissive. Now, it was still unconditional submission. It doesn't have to, the man doesn't have to be any,
A lot of
billion.
money.
It's not about money, it's not about
It's not
looks,
about his social status. It's not about his
not
looks.
no. For the fact that this is the man over you, he said, be submissive as he said, as the church is unto Christ. That's as Christ is unto the church, so is the man the head over you. So it's a total submission. There is no questioning about it. Now, again,
So where does the problem now begin?
now the problem begins with me having expectations from my partner and my partner having expectations from me.
But expectations are a great thing. It now depends on what the expectations are. Are they
I'm coming.
realistic or unrealistic?
Now, you don't, we are expected to have that understanding before we come into it. Okay? But with or without that understanding, I don't need to I don't need to go worry because you're not playing your own part. No. Get what I'm trying to say. Get where I'm going to. Because when God loved us, we did not start acting right. And even acknowledging the fact that he loved us, we still get it wrong at some point.
Mhm.
But he has not stopped loving us. He
That's
said,
right.
nothing will separate us
From the love
from,
of God.
and
Love
that's the
of
same
God.
love he wants us to. So, irrespective of whether we're getting it right or we're getting it wrong, that love still remains. But it is a work in process that we believe we'll keep working on this until death do us part. Now that's why I
Wow.
said it is for two imperfect individuals who are ready to learn. There might be a big mess, but they are ready to learn.
Wow.
Now
Obi, hold
it's
your thoughts when we come back. Go ahead. Sorry.
oh,
Go ahead. Finish up.
I think I'm talking too much, and
No, no, no,
I'm
no, no.
taking.
You're making a lot of sense. You're making a lot of sense. I'm listening to you as you're talking. Now, trust me, I agree with uh, a lot of things you've actually said. In
Yeah,
some cases, I might slightly differ,
yeah, sure,
which is fine. The difference of opinion, life experiences, and everything else that comes along with
sure.
it. But for
I
the
agree with
most part, the stuff you're talking about is true. And you can't mess around with truth. Once it's truth, it's truth.
it's true.
And the
Okay.
truth is what you're actually saying. So that's true. However, though, there comes a time,
Yes.
right? There comes a time
Mm-hmm.
when the thing that begins to settle a family together is its foundation, or a
Yes.
relationship together, or a marriage together. Because
Yes.
your experience you've given so far is in a marital relationship, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
let's talk marriage. Let's talk not married but in relationship, right?
Okay.
So the thing that begins to settle two individuals down in a relationship, right? Whether
Yeah.
it's a business relationship or a family relationship,
Okay.
is your values. If your core values are the same, then both of you become valuable to each other. But the
That's that.
problem is when your core values are not the same, and you think, or I think, my values are more superior
Mm.
than the other party's values,
There is not
then I
value.
have a problem.
Sure. Sure.
Do you understand? But let's
Yeah.
hold that thought until we come back.
Okay.
Right, we've got 3 minutes to wrap it up. Welcome again to another edition of Broken Not Shattered. My host Obi is with the microphone. Go ahead, Obi.
Okay. So, like I said, in a relationship, not marital relationship, you're right what you said about values, and then it's also good to note that, um, like I said initially, it has to be someone you're willing to tolerate. Um, Again, that's where you begin to look at compatibility. If it's not somebody you're compatible with, then it is a no-no for me. First, you have to be compatible with that person first, and then it has to be somebody you can tolerate. I could remember sometime I was in a relationship and I discovered, in fact, it's like it was on me to make sure the relationship worked. Why did I say that? She was the type that never says sorry. Never says sorry. She will always argue and argue it out. Now, when I discovered her person, because I love her and I wanted the relationship to stay, I will always find a way to begin the sorry from my own angle. And I discovered something started happening. Each time I say I am sorry, I pushed you to do this. If I had not done this, you wouldn't have done this. Then by the time I end, she will end up saying she's sorry. Okay, but then it has to be, she was someone I could tolerate. If I wasn't compatible with her, or she wasn't compatible with me, and I can't tolerate her, then it would have been a very difficult challenge. So these are the
So
two
let me
things
ask
for
you a
me I
question
look
then.
at. Yeah, please go ahead.
Sorry for interrupting you. Let me ask you
Yeah.
a question then. If
Okay.
that's the case, that she was someone you could tolerate, and that was one of the crucial parts of a relationship, why are you not with the person right now?
Okay. Yeah. No, so like we said, I could remember something I said in our first episode on this topic, that I think, okay, no, that was when we were talking about, yeah, brokenness. And so, yeah, the first episode. And we said something about unreturned love. I would say sometimes there could be a case of someone you love loving someone else, or someone you love not returning it. Now, the question is, this is someone you tolerate. does the second party tolerate you too?
Uh-huh.
Does your
Okay.
partner wants you too? So because if it's someone you tolerate and the person doesn't tolerate you, then it would never work.
That's right.
And if it's
Okay.
someone you want and the person doesn't want you to, then it will never work. So both of you need to, come to that point where I want you and you want me. I can
And
tolerate you
so,
and you can, like, now the relationship where I am now with my wife, she can tolerate me and I can tolerate her. And that's why
it
it's good.
sounds it sounds to me, Obi, you're talking about
Okay.
friendship.
Friendship, yeah, because that's
When
where we
yeah, because that's where you start from. In
exactly,
that tolerating of each other is when you have been friends for a while, and genuine
exactly,
friends, not friends with an agenda. You understand? Genuine friends, when you're friends for a while, you've been together, you've gone through a lot together, and then you now feel like, okay, somebody could be your friend, and both of you
no,
are single and not end up marrying
yeah,
because
yeah,
your
sure,
friendship,
but
yeah, because your friendship is has exposed to you guys that you can't marry each other based on one thing or the other. You have to be friends first of all, and I mean good friends.
yeah,
You know,
yes,
friends where you can actually express yourselves when you're happy, express yourselves when you're not happy. You can be
yes,
yourself, but not all friendships have to end up in marriage. You can
not
be
at
someone's
all.
good friend, and it will
Yeah,
not end up in marriage. But
yeah,
I think when you marry,
except it is defined, except it is
exactly
defined from the onset.
right. So if it's not
You know
defined,
that
then
yeah, there is a difference from you guys started being friends on a casual level and somehow it began to turn into something else. And then there
mhm.
is this that yeah, you saw the person and you needed a friendship with the person, and it has to be defined before you guys. So when it's
Yeah.
defined, is understand we needing need to at that point is just to discover ourselves, you know, to know if we can move on
So
or we cannot.
in the discovery process, if you find
Yes.
something that you don't like, what do you do? When we come back, let's
Oh, you.
talk. Let's take a quick
Oh,
break
that's
and come back, Obi.
okay.
So what happens when you find something in that discovery process? Because the discovery process is very important. You find something that you feel this is a deal breaker.
Okay. Forgive me to say this. You know, there is this popular saying that a broken engagement is always better than a divorce. A kind of now,
Anytime, any day. It's not popular saying this is the reality of it.
so what I'm trying to say is you have the right to step aside, and you can also decide to move ahead. Now, look at why I said you can move ahead. If you look at the scripture, when Jesus was teaching about marriage, he said it is not given to all, so it is not a must. It is not given to all. So if you feel you cannot tolerate the person, or if you see feel you've seen something that you can handle in that person, you're free to excuse yourself, and you can as well continue. But if you're accepting to continue, then it means you have to be ready to handle
That
the
issue that you saw.
responsibility exactly that says, husband, love your wife
Correct.
unconditionally.
Correct.
So it is better
You are so correct.
before you step in, you avoid it. But if you move into it, then be prepared to do your part.
Awesome. Obi, man, it's been a great evening catching up with you, talking to you. This is a very interesting conversation. I hope most of our viewers will get to see it eventually, and really hope it will be a blessing to you. Um, I want to just say something before I end this um, segment of Broken Not Shattered.
Okay.
Sometime last year, late December, no, September, I lost one of my closest friends ever. And she was a trooper. She fought. She fought. I lost her to cancer.
Wow.
And she fought for over 5 years, trying to beat this sickness. I remember her being single and just always just being thankful to God for her singleness and enjoying her singlehood. But deep down, she would keep on saying to me, "I want to get married. I want to get married. I want to get married." And God was so kind enough to give an opportunity to get married. Um, but before everything could come to the point where she could fully enjoy that marriage, she fell ill, and she passed away last year. Actually, if you look at behind me, there's this yellow seat sitting down there.
Yeah.
That seat, I dedicated it to my good friend Lynette. She was my big sister, the godmother to my children, Lynette Pelzer. And when I'm in the conference call or anything, that chair is always there. It's almost like saying my big sister is sitting there. And I have a blue ribbon right next to it. If you look well, you see a blue this way. Sorry, you see a
Yeah.
little a blue ribbon, and that is the ribbon that we all had on the day of her funeral, fighting colon cancer. Why did I bring this up? There were so many things she taught me about being single and enjoying the single life as she proceeded. Excellent writer, um, just enjoyed life, loved to travel. She went around the whole world. So, for anyone who's out there, I just want to encourage you just
Yeah.
enjoy your single life
Yeah.
until you find that person or that person finds you, male or female.
Yeah.
Um, and then you guys now become one and one whole. And when you do become one, you will face challenges. Let me not sugarcoat it. But
Yeah.
those
Sure.
challenges, if you allow them, they're there to build you. But if you ignore them and think you're smarter than everything and everyone around you, those challenges will break you. If you embrace them, they're there to build you, help you build a better character, a better personality. But if you always keep on blaming the other party, whether it's the male or the female, you will find out that those challenges will break that relationship.
Yeah.
On that note,
Please, before you
enjoy.
go, I really wanted to say something. It just dropped in my heart. I'm so sorry I interrupted you. You know, there is this, you know, thing people say. He made me change. She made me change. Oh, my experiences in the past had made me change from who I used to be. And I tell people, please don't change from who God made you to be. However you were, there is someone there whose definition of the man or woman he or she wanted in life is you. And when you change, you miss the person. And I tell them this is ultimate search. You keep searching. I've always seen that relationship and finding the right person to be with, like, you know, being under the fruit tree in the night and in the dark, and you're asked to select from the ground. Now, there are chances of picking the first sperm and eating the
Excuse
right
me.
fruit, and there are also chances. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, sorry. And there are also chances of picking, you know, more than twice before you get the right one. Now, peradventure you picked 5 times and you didn't get the right one does not mean that all of them are not good. Now,
No, it's true.
it just simply had to continue until you get the right one.
Told you
Now,
guys on
this
the
is it.
journey. You're right.
Don't change who you are, because one day you will come across that same
However, though, I
person and
disagree with you, Obi. if who you are is a problem,
No, I mean who God has made you.
self-evaluate yourself.
Now,
Self-evaluate yourself.
okay.
I understand what you mean by don't change who you are, but
Bu-
if I have issues in my life that I haven't addressed, let's say for instance I have a temper and I haven't addressed my temper, I cannot continue to say don't change who you are, Obi.
Okay, I
Just
think
be
I'm
who
using the
you
right.
are. That
I
somebody
think
will.
I'm using the wrong word. Maybe saying who you are, I'm leaving both the negative. I mean, there is this there is this way God had made you not to be
Okay,
in the
so
negative.
yes, okay, your personality.
The personality, yes, which
Okay,
carries
I
that
agree with you.
positivity. Don't sometimes people say, because I am quiet, because I am loving,
No, no,
some
no,
people
no, no.
not.
It's okay. Somebody will accept you
No,
with your quietness. Somebody
yeah,
will accept you being extravagant, being introverted or extroverted,
yeah,
being
yeah,
the house that the person that blooms up the party whenever you show up. The
exactly,
party goes.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just be
those,
yourself in that sense. Yes, you're right. Okay,
yes,
we gotta go. It's 32 minutes, and we
yeah.
try to make sure our sessions are wrapped up. Thank you for your time. Thank you for everything. This is a very unique edition of Broken Not Shattered. Obi and I were actually chilling, and we decided to, go up and have this session this evening. Hopefully, you get to enjoy it when you listen to it. And if it's a blessing to you, please, please, please let us know. Please let us know. We need more people to follow us to get an understanding of what we're doing. Check us out on our Instagram pages when you have a minute. Don't feel like oh, this is just go to IG and follow us on Instagram at broken nt, not not, broken nt shattered. Okay,
Yeah.
and you will get to see what we're doing there. We're gonna start boosting up that place. Another place where you can find us is on our YouTube handle. A YouTube handle. If you get a minute at any time, just go to any of our handles and see how you can actually follow us. Obi, the last word is yours, buddy. So go ahead, use it wisely.
Well,
1
ah,
minute.
it's
Good
ours.
night.
This is
They just say good night, buddy. Good night. Ladies and
that.
gentlemen, from Broken Not Shattered, this is your my co-host Obi and myself, Ike from Washington, D.C. I'm just trying to say to you three words: love, peace, and grace.
Yeah.
Take care, and God bless you. We look forward to seeing you guys
Bless you too.
soon. All right, buddy. Take care.